Well, when I found Jesus and He came into my heart, what brought that is I met this girl and took her to a drive-in movie, a kind of romantic movie like King Kong, I believe is the name of it. So I asked her for the second date. She asked me, did I want to go to church with her? And I said, I wasn't too crazy about it. I had a cooler full of beer in the back of the trunk and been drinking pretty heavy. Earlier on, I took one drink about 18 years old, and after that I was just a drunk, and I was for 4 or 5 years. So she invited me to church, and before I could say no, she said, I have a big family, and after church, every Sunday we get together and have a big dinner. And I thought, maybe I could sit through a little bit of church for a big dinner. So that's what happened. I went, and I didn't expect to go and feel anything, but I did. But I had a cooler full of beer out in the trunk, and I knew that I can't go and stand before Jesus and ask Him to come into my heart the way I was. I had to make a change, so I didn't go. I didn't go to the altar that day. Well, I had a good meal though. The second Sunday, she asked me to go again. I said, what are you having for dinner? So she said, told me, it was good stuff. They're good cooks up there. And I went to church, and I got that feeling again, the same feeling. But in myself, I said, I can't go stand before Jesus like this. I've got to get myself cleaned up. I can't do it. I went to dinner, and she asked me, did I go to church with her the third time? The third week, that week, I went and I heard the message, and the Spirit drawed me. And that time, I went to the altar and I said, God, here I am, just like you see me. And I need you to come into my heart. God, as good as He is, look past all that stuff. Saved me, cleaned me up His way. I wouldn't have been able to do a very good job, but He does a perfect job. When I got married and I said I do, I thought it was forever. Well, about 34 years later, it was such a shock that I was married one day and one day I wasn't. So that just took my heart, tore it apart. And I got up out of bed after she moved, and the house was so empty. And I just stayed in the bed for a while. Didn't do very much, cried a lot. Then I thought after a while I needed to get out of the house a little bit. So I'd heard about a place played music, and I went down there, and I knew the guitar player. And they had intermission, so I went up there to talk to Bobby and tell him that I was there, because he had invited me before. And Ken, he's pretty popular up there, so a lot of people like to talk to him. And he was out in the audience talking to people, and for some reason, God, imagine, He walked up there to where we were. And me and Ken, I told him I thought he's done a great job playing the piano, but in the 1.5 to 2 minutes that we talked, I had been invited to church, told that I would be welcome there, and that people would love me when I got there. And I'd been out of church for a little while, so I thought, wow. And I was pretty excited, but nervous, because you've been out for a little while. It's just nervous. You're nervous. And that morning, I walked in the door, and there was a lady standing there with a bulletin. She handed it to me, and she smiled, talked to me for a little bit, and important to me at that time, listened to me. And as I was making my way to the sanctuary, other people was talking to me. So I went in and I sat down, and in my bulletin it said Chad was going to give the message. So I remember listening to Chad, and he had a good message. After the service, I wanted to tell Ken that he did a good job, that I was there, I did what I said I'd do, and I certainly would be back next Sunday. So when I walked up there to the piano where he was, Pastor Dave, I didn't realize he was pastor at the time, he was standing up there with that smile that he always has. And I said, talked to Ken for a little while, and then I turned to Pastor Dave and I said, well, you got a good voice. And he smiled, and before I could say another word, everybody on that stage started saying, well, don't be telling him that. He'll get a big head. We can't live with him now. I knew that from that minute that I loved that church. The second Sunday I came, I listened to a message from Pastor Dave that touched my heart so much that day. It still touches my heart. And it's so simple. It just says it's not about you. It's not about me. But it's all about Jesus. I love that message. It's so true. I would like to say how much that church means to me, the people in that church. And I would like to do it like this. I remember when I first walked through the door and I felt His presence. And I knew this was the place where love abounds. For this is the temple Jehovah God dwells in. Oh, we are standing in His presence on holy ground. We are standing on holy ground, and I know that there are angels all around. Let us praise Jesus now. We are standing in His presence. We are standing in His presence. We are standing in His presence on holy ground. And the people of CFC, I'd just like to say that I love